it was in my glove compartment, but I told you I had it though.
No, you did. I get that,
Like,
and I appreciate.
Gun fam, what's up? It's the Gun Brother. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm chilling now. So I want to address this video. If you watch the video, in summary, I guess the guy got pulled over, has a firearm. It was in the glove compartment, but he does not have a concealed carry permit. And I have to make some assumptions here. I'll let you know what the assumptions are in a second. So first thing I want to say is anytime you're watching any of these videos and you commenting on something like this that has anything to do, not even just with firearms, if it has to do with the law, you have to understand that every state's laws can be different. So just because you do it one way in your state doesn't mean that that's what's happening in the video. And it doesn't mean that's what your comment or somebody else's comment is correct or incorrect. It might be correct about their jurisdiction, just not yours. Now, as far as this incident goes, so a couple of things. I'm going to back into this from not having any permits. If you don't have a permit to carry a firearm, but the firearm is legal and it's yours, according to the Safe Passage Act, you can transport a firearm from anywhere you're allowed to have the firearm to anywhere you're allowed to have the firearm, as long as it's transported unloaded, ammo separate from the firearm, in a compartment that is not accessible by the passengers in the passenger compartment, in a vehicle that the passenger compartment can access the rear, such as a station wagon or SUV. In that case, the ammo has to be locked up. That is how the Safe Passage Act is written. So anybody can transport a firearm anywhere they want, that as long as it's packed that way. That's without a permit in just about any jurisdiction. That's Safe Passage Act, that's federal. Now, in this particular jurisdiction, from the way the officer's speaking, it sounds like he's in an open carry jurisdiction, which means open carry is legal without a permit. So that means that firearm has to be in plain view, has to be able to be seen, okay? He somehow ended up telling the officer that he had a firearm and it was in the glove compartment. Well, that means you just said, I have a concealed firearm. 10-4, do you have a concealed firearm permit? Because obviously they're in a jurisdiction that requires a permit. It's not constitutional carry or anything like that, just open carry. So he didn't have a permit for a concealed firearm. He had the firearm concealed in the vehicle in an area that was readily accessible by the passengers or people in the passenger compartment, including the driver. That is where he ran into the problem. He does not have a permit for a concealed firearm. A concealed firearm permit permits you to carry the firearm on or about your person. On or about your person means you can access it. That includes the glove compartment, the center console, or even if you just had it in the gym bag, on the passenger seat, or on the floor. It's readily accessible. You need to have a permit to have the firearm in that condition in most jurisdictions, okay? If you don't have the permit, then you have to transport it according to the Safe Passage Act, which means unloaded in the trunk, not accessible to the passenger area, blah, 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 blah. So the officer asked him, does he have a permit? He doesn't, but he had the firearm in a concealed manner. That is how most laws are written, okay? So what the officer is doing is saying, look, all right, so the gun is now in connection with a crime, so the officer can take the gun. It is not a violation of his rights. It's in a crime. So the officer is saying, look, I'm going to take the gun. I'm going to write you the summons. You come to court, you'll get the gun back. I'm pretty sure the officer could have charged him with something. It would have been at least a misdemeanor, saying that he was illegally carrying a concealed or illegally in possession of in the vehicle a concealed firearm. And that may have even messed up his ability to get a carry permit in the future or carry firearms in the future. And the officers elected not to do that. He said, I'm going to take it, come to court, you're going to get it back, we'll work everything out. And as far as this scenario goes, that's probably the best, other than just letting him ride off into the sunset. That was the best outcome he could have had. So people in the comments calling people bootlickers and calling people names and all that stuff, you're not helping the situation, man. 2A community needs to stick together, educate each other, and even if I'm wrong, let me know what I'm saying is wrong, but you need to show it to me. I've been instructing for 20 years. I'm not just talking to waste my breath. I'm doing this to help people so they understand the situations and understand their own jurisdictions, okay? If you're in an open carry situation that requires a permit to carry, when you get in the vehicle, you have to pack that according to safe passage laws. You can't keep it on or about your person because you don't have a permit. If you're going to open carry it, keep it on your person, open, in plain view. If the officer had seen that, he'd have been fine. That'd have been it. Okay? So that's how that works. If y'all got any questions or any comments or anything, let me see them. And with that being said, Gun Brothers out, man. I'll talk to y'all soon.